So this is the opening section for activities and motivation. If you come on the course, you'll realise that motivation is really ridiculously simple. What's often lost is you don't need any of the tricks that we're going to talk about, any of the persuasive techniques, if you do one really simple thing. And that's to actually spend time with the people that you're trying to motivate. Older people have a very different view to life, and sometimes we're trying to motivate them to develop or grow, and some of them are at a point really where they're more at the contemplation phase of their life, where they're looking back over the years of life that they've had and trying to make sense of that, trying to put it into some sort of order and to more or less settle their affairs, if not externally with other people, internally for themselves. The way that they look at what's important in life is very, very different. So to a greater extent, what would motivate a younger person will do absolutely nothing to motivate an older person who, to put it frankly, has been there and got the t-shirt as well. What some people seem to forget, especially some of the activity coordinators I've worked with, is how older people view them. And if you think of yourself from the perspective of someone who's 95, when I started going into care homes, I was in my late 20s and living on my own house, my own property, living my own life, and thought I was pretty much an adult. But it's only when you speak to some of those people who are now long past that I realised that I was the same age as their grandchildren. And now that I'm in my 50s, I'm not even the age of some of their children. So when we're trying to motivate, it's very difficult to come in as an authority figure or someone who is in the know that can influence in that way. The other thing with it is it seems to get lost with a lot of activity coordinators that if you really want to motivate someone, you've got to at least get to know them and they've got to know you. And one of the biggest cues to motivation, flat out, is trust. If they trust you and you have a good working relationship with them, it goes a long way. You will be able to get people to do things for you as a favour that nobody else in the care home can do. So that is coming out of their room, that is sitting in and having a cup of tea with a group of people they really don't want to be with, but they're doing it for you, to help you out. There's a final sort of bit, which I'm just going to put into the opening, that's the curveball. When you look at society, people are not motivated always to do what they should do anyway. And sometimes when we're working in care, we're trying to motivate older people to do things in their best interest. How many times in your life have you tried to motivate someone to stop smoking, lose weight, take up exercise, stop drinking, any number of things? And you're fighting the internal dialogue that the person has with themselves. And if you complicate that even more, because older people have that internal dialogue as well, you chuck in dementia. So if you've got dementia, a person promises faithfully they're going to do something for you, and then they forget they promised that they're going to do it. And by the time you get back into the room with them, their mood could have changed. So I want you to take home the real take-home bit from this section. It sounds like a lot of negative. There's a couple of real positives in there. First thing is build your relationship and build the trust with the person, and that doesn't happen overnight, but that's what your job is if you're working in activities anyway, to build that relationship. The The second thing really is to figure out who that person is. And you should be able to do that by building the relationship. Provide them things that they actually want to do, and don't provide them stuff because you're providing it to everybody else and that's the general theme of it. If you provide them stuff that they want to do, you've got a better chance of getting them to take that up than providing them just off a generic list of activities. So again, that comes back to the fact that you have to sit down, spend time with them, talk to these people like people,